doesn't mean anything to them anymore. They hear attaqullah, have taqwa, and they don't respond. This is the human condition. So how do we revive the hearts? Jaddidu imanakum, renew your faith. And that's why if you're seeking knowledge, you have to be serious. One of them said, if you think you can gain knowledge, you will not be able to gain knowledge without great effort until the crow goes gray. In other words, it's not going to happen. Knowledge is difficult. Ibn al-Jawzi says the most difficult thing on the nafs is memorizing knowledge. Just sitting and doing repetition. It's not easy. If you want to learn Arabic, Arabic's not going to come easy to you. Arabic is a difficult language, and it was meant to be difficult. It was meant to be difficult, but it's easy for the one who makes it easy. If Allah makes it easy, it'll come to you. But it's a difficult language. If you go to it thinking that it's going to come easy to you, you're not going to get it. But if you go knowing that this is difficult, but I'm going to give everything that I have to learn this language of God, Allah will make it easy for you. He'll give you openings. You'll see things that maybe even people before you didn't see. The Arabic is the key. The muhaddithun, even some of the great muhaddithun, Sufyan al-Thawri, he went to study hadith, and when he was reading, he made a grammatical mistake, and the man said, no, you're putting, basically in Arabic, he said, you're putting the cart before the horse. He said, you need to learn grammar. Al-Asma'i said, أخاف على من يلحن في حديث رسول الله. May Allah forgive us, because I know I've done this, so may Allah forgive us. أخاف على من يلحن في حديث رسول الله أن يكون من الذين قال فيهم ومن كذب علي فليتبوأ مقعده من النار فإن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لم يلحن. I would be fearful of somebody who makes a grammatical mistake in a hadith, that they would fall under the category that the Prophet said, whoever lies about me, let him take his seat in hell. Because Al-Asma'i said the Prophet never made grammatical mistakes. He never made grammatical mistakes. Grammar. This is our religion. Learning language so that we can understand Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's revelation to us. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He put us on the earth to know these things. He put us on the earth to know our Lord, to know that we're creatures. And with true knowledge, you will arrive at knowledge of God. It's inevitable. It's false knowledge that will lead you away from knowing that you're a creature that has createdness, that you have a khaliq, that you have a raziq. Where did your provision come from? Where did all these foods come from? Where did all these vegetables and fruits come from? Where did the milk in the udders of these animals come from? This is all spontaneous, came out of nothing. Nobody in the pre-modern world would have ever accepted that. With rare exception of people that Iblis obviously led astray. So he says, this is what Ibn Jawzi says. He says he will preoccupy you with devotional practices so that you will not learn. And then what does he do to the ulama? Because he'll come to the ulama as well. Learning doesn't get you out of this problem. He'll come to the ulama and he'll say, knowledge is enough. That's all you need. And he will preoccupy them from doing actions with their knowledge. One of my teachers told me, don't ever read something, at least you do it one time. Just once. If you read something in the hadith that tells you it's a practice of the Prophet, just do it one time. So that at least you did the imtithal for that one time. Because you can't take on the whole practice. This is impossible. The Prophet was a human being, but he had supernatural powers. He could see, he saw 12 stars in Thuraya. You can only see 8 if you have really good eyesight. They're called the 7 sisters. He saw 12 according to the hadith. If you look, just Google it and you can see Thuraya, a close-up shot of it. Count the big stars in it, there's 12. So the Prophet ﷺ saw 12 stars in Thuraya. The best eyesight sees 8. He had the vision. He never went out to sight the moon. Did you know that? He never went out because he would see it like a telescope before anybody. There's no hadith. Somebody actually said, oh, this is a proof that you should use calculations. Because the Prophet ﷺ, there's no hadith that said he went out with the Sahaba to sight the moon. No, because he would have seen it before you could see it with a human eye. Because he saw it behind him. A man was imitating, because he had a very, he didn't walk like the other Arabs. He walked in a very determined way. And so there was a man mocking him behind his back. But he could see what he was doing. He turned around, he said, Kun kadhalik. He said, okay, be like that. And he walked like that. Because whenever people that mimic people always exaggerate. They do more than the thing. That's what makes it funny. You know, like if you hear somebody imitate a person's voice, they never imitate exactly like them. They take their idiosyncrasies and they draw it out. And that's what makes it funny. So he was exaggerating the walk. And the Prophet said, all right, be like that. And that's the way he was for the rest of his life. He walked like that. Ibn Mas'ud said, Wallahi, law sakhidtu min kalbin khashitu an uhawwil kalba. If I mocked a dog, I would be afraid that God would turn me into a dog. And speaking of being turned into dogs, one of the miracles of our Prophet, people are wondering where the furries came from, right? The Prophet said, the end of time will not come until you will see people turned into animals. But he said, but the rahmah of my community will not be physically turned into animals. They will become animals internally. So they will feel like they're dogs. They will feel like they're cats. They'll feel like they're wolves. They'll howl like a wolf. That's a hadith. And now look, we're seeing all these miracles. Where are you guys? Are you seeing what we're seeing? The Prophet said the end of time won't come until people will be content with same sex. He said this, he told it, يَكْفِي الرِّجَالُ بِالرِّجَالِ وَالنِّسَاءُ بِالنِّسَاءِ. Look at this spreading all over the world, raising these flags of conquest. That's what, when you raise a flag, you're saying we won. And the Prophet told us this. And they lied to them. They lied to these young people. According to the World Health Organization, by today's statistics, 1 out of 6 people, they call them MSMs, men who have sex with men, will get AIDS. 1 out of 6. Have you ever thrown a dice? Throw a dice. Keep throwing it. See how many times 1 and 6 come up. Those aren't good odds. 1 out of 6. How could you promote that? How could you promote that lifestyle? People that have to take drugs, they're trying to, the immune system is their enemy. That's why they're trying to hack the immune system. Give them vaccines to prevent STDs that you won't get. But there's not just sexually transmitted diseases. There's spiritually transmitted diseases. What about all the spiritual destruction that these activities, promiscuity, whether it's heterosexual or homosexual, what happens to people? So why are we protected? Because Allah gave us knowledge. Allah gave us knowledge. لا تقربوا الزنا. لا تقربوا الزنا. إنه كانت فاحشة وساءت سبيلا. It's a foul thing. And it leads to a terrible end. One said in studying 86 civilizations that whenever sexuality was unleashed on a people, within 3 generations, they lost faith, family, and rationality. We're in the 3rd generation in this country now. It was unleashed in the 1960s. We're in the 3rd generation. So you're wondering why everybody's going crazy, why people don't know what a woman is anymore? These are the results of your actions. But we're the people, we're supposed to be guiding people. But if you want to guide people, you have to know the guidance. You know, the Arabs, they say, كُلُوا وِيعًا بِمَا فِيهِ يَنْضَحُوا فَاقِدُوا شَيْئًا لَا يُعْطِيهِ. If you don't have something, you can't give it. The Muslims have lost this guidance. Where's the guide? They're all fighting one another. The Prophet ﷺ said, مَا ضَلَّ قَوْمٌ بَعْدَ هُدًى كَانُوا عَلَيْهِ إِلَّا أُوتُوا الْجَدَلِ. No people go astray after guidance they were given, except that it's replaced with argumentation. We have all these so-called Muslim leaders and scholars. They're all fighting each other on Twitter, attacking one another. Mubtada'. People are losing their faith. People are losing their faith. What are you doing? Where are you? What are you thinking? It's insane. It's just amazing. We were given this guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we just throw it away. The Prophet ﷺ didn't argue. Imam Malik was once in a group, and they started arguing. He got up, and he literally took his rida, and he shook it like he was shaking them off. And he said, Antum harb. And he walked away.